Oh, now
Okay, yes. Here we go. Sorry, it took a while.
Oh,
okay, so he's not listening. So
Okay.
we can talk about your plan.
All right, so I like to play d4 c4.
Okay, I play actually I'm a d4 player as well.
Just most comfortable with this line, and then I like to push here, and then I like to do some dumb shit, Botez. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, please no more. Can we stop playing the
okay, yes,
attack?
no. I already began the process of working that out of my repertoire.
Okay, so you're playing knight f3, so this is a more classical line. This is good.
Now, should I fianchetto or should I develop my bishop to d3?
Bishop e2 is actually main line here. Bishop d3 probably works as well.
Yeah, okay.
So you can either play bishop e2 or h3 before putting your bishop to e3.
Okay, so I'm just gonna castle here.
Yep. So this is the like classical King's Indian line that you're playing.
Typically, I feel like on these in this opening, it's a fight for the c file.
Yeah. So your choice, if you play d5, is you're always going to be going for c5, and he should either try to put his knight on c5 or go for some kind of kingside attack.
Yeah. So he's got a threat. I address that threat. So I think the best way to address that threat is by moving my queen to c2.
Perfect.
Then I'm thinking about h3 because eventually I want to.
So there's actually an important sequence here that is very common in these kinds of positions for kicking the knight out of c5. Don't make the move right away. Talk about it first.
I mean, a3 b4.
Oh, sorry. People from your chat are telling me that your screen is cut off.
Uh-oh. Wow, I'm such a terrible streamer.
It's okay. We got you.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Okay. No worries.
So actually a3 b4 doesn't work because the knight because you could just take that rook with that exchange. So I was thinking about also bishop to e3, but that's why I wanted to push h3 is because I don't want him to come and swing with his knight on e4.
Right.
So maybe I just offer an exchange with my knight on a4. No,
so
that doesn't work because the pawn hangs.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe okay. So do I just move my bishop to e3 and just take if he attacks it?
So usually you don't actually want to give off your bishop pair. The idea so if you play a3 and you want to play b4, the idea would be something like a3 and rook b1 to push b4. The problem after a3 is that he pushes a4, and then you can't push b4 because there's en passant.
Oh, gotcha.
So what you want to do is play a move like b3 first, and then slow play it with rook b1, a3, b4. That's a very, very common idea in kicking the knight off from c5, and you can do it basically every time you have this kind of position.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah.
Okay, so he's just preparing to go for f5 here.
Mm-hmm.
So you can continue with your plan, or you can try, you could play a move like bishop g5 here and try to bait him into f6, but I don't think it's actually that good.
I mean, I could continue normal development. Like if I'm like, do I need to address like how big of a threat is f5?
Well, f5 is always going to be played in these kinds of positions, so you don't have to address it necessarily. You can, I told you not to always trade your bishop for the knight. You can do it occasionally, but f5 is going to happen regardless, so you can also just go with your plan of rook b1, a3, b4.
Right away without moving the bishop first?
The only tricky part here is if he plays f5 with e takes f4, after you take back with your knight, he can play his bishop to f5. So actually, now that he's going for the plan so quickly, you should actually play bishop e3. Just because you don't want to get your piece pinned on e4. It's weird because with the King is Indian, it's such a sharp opening variation that a lot of the plans defend on the position. Like if he's trying to go for f5 right away or not.
So I feel like I have to take here, right?
Yeah, you can take the take what?
Take the pawn.
So you actually don't want to take the pawn here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
Because if you take the pawn and he takes back with the bishop, he gets a tempo, and because of his knight, he controls all of those light squares.
Okay, so you were thinking maybe.
Yeah, this makes a lot more sense if he's really over eagerly pushing f5, because you're really destroying his pawn structure here, and now you can try to support your pawn on e4.
Probably do it by going.
That's the pawn on d5, but this is also a good move, so it's fine.
Okay. Now he's gonna pin me. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine now because you could always put the bishop on d3.
I can always put the bishop on d3. Is that what you said? Oh, I was gonna move my knight, but I guess yours is better.
No, you don't have to put your bishop there now. There's like multiple moves. You could have also put the rook on e1 or put your knight back. Like this is still a very normal opening here.
I guess I would do this and.
When you say this and that, it sometimes helps if I know the coordinates.
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay, so in this position, you're playing against the bishop pair, but what is black's main weakness here?
The dark squared bishop, I would say.
The dark square bishop is trapped. Is there anything else?
Doubled pawns on the c file.
Yeah, double pawns on the c file and the isolated pawn on the e5. So that's what you're going to play for in the long run.
I want to push my pawn to f3, but I don't know if that's necessary right now. Would it be better just to support my knight with my rook on f1?
Rook to e1 makes a lot of sense because if the bishop takes on e4, what do you recapture with?
Rook with tempo.
Rook with tempo is a blunder. Why?
So if blunder because oh yeah, that's not good. That sensitive f2 pawn there. So that's not gonna work. So I would take, I guess, with the knight.
Yeah, exactly. So that you want to protect the f2 square.
So he's getting ready to push that pawn, right? So
yeah. So if he pushes c6, I guess you have a couple options here.
I kind of want to just offer him a trade with the queen, like just go to g3 right now with my queen. But
that's an okay move. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not like pushing for a win, but it's not a bad move.
Or you could also attack his dark squared pawn on c5, but then he could just push b6.
Right. And now you're already really slow playing this position. Like if his queen is annoying you, you can make a move like knight f3, but this position is already very slow. So if you prefer to trade off and go into an endgame, you can. If you want to activate your knight on d2, bring it back on f3, you can. But all of the plans here are going to be very slow.
Well,
which I think is the hardest position to start playing.
I think I prefer knight to f3 here.
Okay. So he has queen e7, he has queen h5, and the thing that is really hard here is you already have basically your pieces on all of their optimal squares, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's your plan after he makes a passive move like queen e7? Which he just did.
Right. Well, I could put some pressure on the e-pawn by queen to c3, but then I'm lined up with his bishop. I don't really like that.
Right.
So I want to get my queen off of that, off this file, and I want to do it. I want to do it in a way that creates a threat. So I think probably queen to e3 is what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I really like queen to e3. You're getting out of the pin, and he's gonna probably push b6 here, is what I would guess. And then again, it goes back to you have a really slow position. How do you play it?
Might be tempted to, I was gonna say.
Okay, he would blunder. He would blunder when I'm about to teach you a lesson about slow chess.
A blunder, you say? Okay, so he just blundered a pawn, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why he played that. Did he not see that c5 was under attack? I guess you really are 1800, Hutch.
Many people have said that, yeah.
because the point here is like after he plays b6, you kind of have to wait and make moves like h3 and shuffle your rooks because there's actually no way to really push forward in this position. It's really boring, but this is one of the positions that it sucks to play it like a human, because like a computer would know that you should just shuffle, but humans feel very uncomfortable and they feel the need to keep attacking.
What do you mean by shuffle? You mean just like subtly reposition?
Like, for example, if he wasn't doing anything and he protected his pawns, you would have to like rook e2, rook e1, put your rooks on tripled on the file, but like you don't actually have an opening. So you're just slowly setting up any kind of plan here.
Do you typically see blunders like this?
No, I don't know why he blundered this.
At 1723?
He shouldn't. He miscalculated. Honestly, I'm surprised that he blundered.
Now this is an interesting fucking move.
Well, way to roast poor Vila. He's doing his best, Hutch. Jesus, you're really coming into the chess community today.
Wait, is this another blunder? What tactic am I missing here?
I'm curious how far into this line you're looking.
Oh, I see. Okay, so all right, yeah. Well, I think I kind of have to take it then, right? Even prevent that. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the bishop. I'm gonna let him take my knight. What do you think? Thoughts?
Yeah, you have to basically take it because otherwise there's no way to continue. But I wanted to see if you saw that at the end of this variation, you can also take the pawn on e5.
Pawn, yeah, pawn.
Yeah.
The best piece to take, the most active would be take it with a rook.
Yeah, active would be taking with the rook.
But I get a tempo if I take with the knight. And I'm bearing down on his king side with another minor piece there.
Yeah, that's true. You do have to be careful about like discoveries on f2, but I don't see one after knight takes. Oh, 1 second.
It's unrated, right?
Yeah, this is unrated, okay, so we're allowed to talk.
Now I'm thinking of some weirdo moves like g4.
Ooh, okay. So first let's find a move for him. So if he plays something like rook e7, he's moving out of the threat, you would go for g4?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's tough. No, I don't like that. That's not good.
I just feel like
there's so much pressure on the pawn.
You don't need to go for that. Unless, whenever you're pushing a pawn that aggressively, you should have a really good reason to do it, like you're winning a piece, because there's no reason to create that weakness otherwise.
I'm thinking about right now, so I don't have to move right away. Like what if no, that doesn't work either. I'm looking at queen to g5, but that feels a little slow.
Okay, so queen to g5 isn't actually doing anything here.
Yeah. I gotta be mindful. I feel like I need defense right now because he's about to put a lot of pressure on this f2 pawn.
Okay, and he's gonna put a lot of pressure by moving the bishop, right?
Yeah.
So is there any moves that help you improve the position of your pieces, but that also help alleviate some of the pressure on f2?
I was looking at rook to d2.
Rook to d2 is a good option, yeah. So you're preparing to double your rooks and you're protecting f2. So that's a very solid move here. Okay. I was thinking rook e3, but rook d2 and rook e3, they do the same thing. So either move is good.
Okay. Oh, you mean double them up on the e file? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because that's a plan you can go for regardless. So it's always nice to be careful and make sure that you're being defensive as well here, but also improving the position of your pieces.
Okay, so if I go rook e2 right now, rook d to e2, and he doubles up, starting to get a little uncomfortable. And I don't want to...
Yeah, so if he does double up, how are you going to protect your knight?
You could push the pawn or you could swing the queen into action.
Right.
Okay. Well, he doesn't have a dark squared bishop, so that helps me here.
Yeah, so if you make a move like f4 or queen f4, I guess just f4, you're weakening your dark squares, but you don't have to worry about it as much because there's no dark squared bishop. So I actually do like the plan you're coming up with here. And I know I told you not to push the pawns in front of your king, but you're doing it for a good reason here because you do have to defend your knight. So you either have to come back with the queen or with the pawn.
Now what about g4?
You know, if you want to try it and see what happens, you can. I guess
That's a void
my
move.
question is, if you're gonna play that aggressively, what's your plan? Like, okay, congratulations, you got g4, but what's next?
Overwhelm my opponent psychologically.
Yeah, or something more concrete, like g5, for example. It doesn't really do that much. Like g4 and f5 is also kind of trading off and losing material. So the problem with g4 is there's no follow-up.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I have 2 pawns of material. I can't take. I'm not gonna take. So I don't really love where my queen is right now, I guess.
Yeah, your queen isn't in a great position, but it might be useful later on. But you could go for a plan that's like just repositioning your queen. I think it's a really solid strategy because it's more than just one move, and it shows that you have like pretty good understanding of which ones of your pieces are not actually helpful here.
What about a waiting move like a quiet move like king to h1? Just get off that diagonal.
King to h1 is going to position you for future back rank checkmates.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if you're gonna go for something like that, maybe play h3 instead. Yeah.
But you think it would be better to reposition the queen?
I like both plans. If you want to go for pushing the H pawn to make some space, that works as well. I guess you do have to be a little bit careful in the future that like you're weakening your pawn structure, but that's not a thing just yet. But Vila is starting to create counterplay, so make sure you don't lose any queenside pawns.
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings? I'm just curious.
I have 4 older sisters.
Oh my gosh, you're the youngest. Okay, so you don't know the pain of younger siblings. You are the pain of younger siblings.
Oh, yeah. My parents were tired by the time they got to me.
Fair enough. My parents were tired after Andrea, and I don't blame them.
Is she your older sister?
No, she's the younger one.
Okay, so I think what I want to do is just attack this bishop.
Okay. And if he takes on c4?
Oh, that's right.
The problem is you actually don't have a choice.
Oh, so he is going to win that pawn. Is that right?
I mean, sorry. If you play... No, sorry. Rook e3, knight takes, and you're protecting your rook. I had a slip for a second. You're actually fine. Because you can defend your rook one more time.
Right, yes. Okay, gotcha.
So that's actually a very solid move. But now you're up 2 pawns, so I'm curious to see what your position, what your plan is going to be to grind out the win here.
Yeah, he doesn't really have like immediate threat.
Bless you.
Not anymore. Oh,
did you take another big puff, Hutch?
No. Do you sneeze when you smoke weed? Is that what happens when you smoke?
I don't know if that happens to me. No, it hasn't happened actually.
No, you seem like a good.
Didn't you also say I seem like a sociopath though?
Sometimes they're one and the same, Botez. Sometimes be surprised.
Oh man, it sounds like you're speaking from personal experience there.
So if he takes my rook, I would have to take with a knight to protect that pawn, right?
I don't know why he blundered so many pieces against you. It's almost like he's letting you win. But he's much stronger than this. I think our trash talk is stressing him out a little bit.
Oh, that's an interesting move. Why don't I just move my knight back now? You can't dislodge it.
Exactly, and now you're just up a full piece.
Yeah, do that. And now I'm glad that I made that space on h3 there.
So now you're up a full piece. Like there's no way you should be losing this actually.
Obviously, I sack the knight.
Yeah, if you sack the knight, I'm sorry, you're right. You could find a way.
Okay, so now it's just you know, I need to get my queen in a more active spot. That's what I feel like. Everything's kind of locked down over here. He can't break through.
So there's a move that I automatically think of here, but you have honestly you're up a full piece, so like you can almost win in any way here.
Yeah, so
unless you totally blunder. Sorry, I don't want to say anyway.
I'm gonna move my queen here.
Okay, that's solid. And what's your plan behind this?
Queen to f2 eventually, and then try to pile up on the C pawn, his C pawn. That's a weak pawn. Oh, I missed that.
It could be okay if your plan is to like gang up on his. If you had like any kind of counterplay, I like that you're trying to trade off the queens. If I were him, I would play my queen back to d5 just because I think you should try to keep the pieces on the board.
Yep. So then, what if I attack the pawn right away with rook to a3? And I don't think he's gonna be able to hang on to this pawn.
The only thing is rook to a3. You're attacking a pawn that's protected, right?
Yeah, but I'm gonna double my rooks.
Okay, yeah. If your idea is to switch on over to the A file, I think that makes sense. I don't know if G5 is scary from him, but there's a chance he tries to get some kind of counter attack on you. That's the only thing you need to be careful about in this situation.
Trust my instincts.
Okay, let's see it. Rook A3. I mean, I hope he makes it more complicated. Because he's just giving you too many free things here. So you have a little under 5 minutes to his slightly 7. Okay. G5. So I like that he's trying this because it's kind of a desperado. He has to go for something here.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay, Queen G3. I like it. He has one good idea here. We'll see if he sees it. It's still not that good because it simplifies, but if he plays Queen D4 and tries to take your pawn on F4, at least he's getting a pawn back.
Yeah, but then I gotta be careful because that would be comfortable for me, I think.
The queen trade or what version after Queen D4?
Well, because he's like doubled on this file, so I got to be careful to not like need to think about protecting that knight. But then I guess he did it. All right.
Okay, Queen D4. It seems like a very logical idea for him. Multiple threats here.
I think I need to protect this rook now because he's sensitive. So what do you think about king to f1 here? Or is that dodgy?
King to f1 is probably not that bad. It feels like a little bit weird, but there's actually no checks on c4 or d3. But does he have any counterplay with like putting his rook on the f file? I mean, intuitively, I would just block the check with the queen, but I actually don't see anything wrong with your move in this position.
Trust my gut again.
Okay, let's see it. Because you're bringing your king a little bit more active. It seems like it's less safe, but if he's going to trade off queens, it doesn't matter.
Now my plan comes to fruition.
There we go. Okay, so you're protecting your rook on e1. Really nice. You're trading off. You're simplifying. Man, you're just killing Vila. This is pretty impressive. Minus his blunders.
Kind of a big deal in the chess world.
Yeah. Do you have any professional, not professional, but like competitive chess goals or like chess.com goals?
Not really. Right now I'm just enjoying getting back in the game. Like I feel like I generally do better when I'm playing chess.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, I feel like I should just check here. And then attack that pawn.
And then if he plays a4, I'm curious if there's going to be any mistakes in the end game here.
Well, I gotta think about time here.
I think he should have tried a4.
I don't take. That'd be bad. Taking would be terrible. So I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I really only have like one choice here.
There is a tactic, but you have to calculate it.
Okay, what about rook takes pawn?
Okay, and if he, what are his options there?
Take with the rook or move the rook, or take the knight, which isn't good. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, this is a good move, because if he moves his rook away, you could just move your knight off, and you just got a pawn here. And if he trades, your knight isn't getting trapped, so that's also okay.
Feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So now I just but that's kind of scary.
Because he's taking away the d2 square, right?
Yeah. What do I do?
There we go.
You're supposed to warn me about this?
This is still fine, though.
Oh.
This is still fine.
Knight to c5. c5.
Knight to c5, and
if he moves over to b4, then I have knight to b7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if he goes to b4, yeah, you do have knight to b7. What about rook d5?
Too late. I've already committed. Rook to d5 right now. Then knight to b7 still.
Exactly, and you're protecting your rook. Perfect.
Okay.
Vila is trying to flag you. Okay, let's see if you could do it with 2 minutes. Do you think you can?
Yeah. I do.
We need to give him a chance to try to trick you. But the problem is, like, if he trades off rooks, you have a knight for the c pawn, right? And your knight can like try to sack for the pawn, and then you have another pass pawn. So it's like impossible for him to beat you here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move up the board with my king on the king side.
Okay, he's trying here. He's trying.
Do that.
All right, f4 makes sense.
Oh.
He's trying to trick you.
Botez.
There's like one best way to get out of this. Although it's still, this is like still pretty tricky actually.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. You're gonna hit him with rook b1.
Yeah.
But what I find tricky is if he just doesn't take your knight and he leaves it there.
Well, then I just.
He's trying. I respect that he's trying. Although I don't respect that he's over 1700 and he gave you so many blunders during the game. You know what I mean?
Oh no, go easy on him. Now I need to get my knight out of here. Hey, honey, what are you doing? What kind of food do you want to get tonight? In the middle of a vicious cockfight. The new version of I gotta move. I don't know what to do. I think I just move my king up, right? Just work on getting that pawn.
So like working on f5 and getting your king up. Yeah, those are some solid strats. Do you go king f5? I mean, king f5, king f3. Like you're up so much material that you don't have to play. Oh, Vila, dude, he has. Okay, I'm not saying anything.
I got it.
I am sorry for my boyfriend's very disrespectful tone. That was unnecessary.
Oh,
it's okay. I am sorry for Vila's very disrespectful, terrible, bad moves.
Oh, brutal.
Dude, I don't know why he played so poorly. You're beating I kind of wonder if you could beat Andrea at this point. Andrea?
No. Wait. Oh, come on.
No, I'm kidding. She never comes on demand anyway. She hasn't gotten that part of her training yet.
You would crush me. I watched.
No, I'm kidding. She's a sister, not a pet dog. It's okay.